Hey, look. Hey, look, check this out. Check this out. I'm gonna tell you something. See, the Most High blessed me. The Most High blessed me. You know what? When the word say, listen, this is what the word tell you right here. The word tell you, it say, your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. But see, I grew up in a home to where they didn't understand financial literacy. They didn't know how to save. They didn't know how to budget. They didn't know nothing about. They didn't understand money. And without understanding money, what people's go-to is when you grow up in a poverty-stricken area, or you grow up around people with a poverty mindset. What they go to is go to school. Go to school, graduate. When you graduate, go to college. After you go to college, you come and you go start a career. See, that's what people teach, you know what I'm saying? But it's a book, it's called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I read it when I was doing 10 years in prison. And when I was doing the 10 years in prison, I used to read a lot of financial books. And in reading them financial books, guess what I come to learn? Guess what I come to understand? It ain't nobody in my family that understand nothing about no money. And if you don't understand money, then what do you do with money? You blow money. And if you blow money, guess what that also tell me about me? Tell me about you. You don't understand how to prioritize. If you don't know how to prioritize, guess what that means to me? You don't really understand stability. People think that they are stable because they go to work. And because you go to work, you get a check every week or every other week. You think that's stability because your check is coming. But guess what? You live in check to check. And if you live in check to check, guess what that means? You're not stable. Listen, and if you live in check to check, guess what? You'll never get ahead. You'll never get ahead. And guess what? The system ain't designed for you to get ahead. If you ever think these companies gonna start paying you enough money for you to get ahead, then you're exactly wrong. You wanna know why they ain't gonna pay you no money to get ahead? Because the minute they start paying you enough to get ahead and stack some money, they know eventually you able to walk away and start your own company. So if you talking about get up and go to work, listen to me. These people, they tell you, we paying $20 an hour. But then you don't really pay attention to the numbers, right? You don't really pay attention to the numbers. They don't care nothing about you ain't on food stamps, so you pay cash money for your food. These folks, if you think it ain't a psychology behind how these folks orchestrate and strategically calculate what it is they gonna give you, it's just like prison. In prison, what they do is they give you 3 meals a day. But what the prison have done is they done studied how much they put in a meal, how many calories, how many whatever it is that your body needs a day. They give you the exact amount of portions that you need to survive in prison, in the meals. They doing the same thing on the street. What they do is they done calculated how much it's gonna cost for you to get to work as far as gas back and forth. They know how much money you gonna spend as far as what you gonna need to survive as far as groceries. And then they calculate depending on the area that you live in. Because if you think these companies ain't coming to certain places and planting these places and not know the cost of living in them areas, oh, you is out of your mind. They most definitely know the cost of living in the area. And then when you come and you putting your address and stuff on there, they know what area you living in. And guess what? They know by the time all of them bills hit, plus your kids, guess what? They know you a check-to-check worker. They have turned you into a slave, and they know you have to come to work. That's what that is. So when you telling me to go get a job, what you telling me to do is be a slave. Now listen. Now, true enough, it's some people, they go work for these places and then they get up and they able to do this and they able to do that. But listen, you'll never get up to the point of what your real value is, because your real value is inside of you. These people gas you up and they tell you how good of a worker you are, how smart you are, how good of a supervisor you are. And the whole time, you don't even see the sign of the Most High trying to tell you that you are able to do this on your own. But instead, you going here, you getting gassed up because these folks finna give you the best employee of the month plaque. You is out of your mind. Let me tell you a story about my publisher. The woman, the lady who published my books for me, the woman who self-published my books for me. When I used to order my books and she just mailed them to me. But I realized when I lived in Tennessee, she only lived about an hour and a half from me. I hit her up one day, I had ordered some books. I said instead of mailing them, because I realized, because when it comes to financial literacy, I'm most definitely one of them people that'll go to the grocery store and see that how much this is. I can get this same thing for a different price right here, but it's cheaper. I'm him. You can call me what you want to call me. I'm most definitely looking at the prices. Oh, let me get this. I don't care how much money I get. It's the same thing when it came to the books. I realized it was costing me more to ship the books versus if I drive an hour and a half, how much gas it'll take me to get there and back for me to just go and pick them up myself. So I said, instead of spending that extra money, I'm gonna pocket it and I'm gonna drive on out here. So I drive out here to go get my books. When I drive to get my books, this is the first thing I noticed. The first thing I noticed was I was pulling up on private property, which means that whoever driveway that I'm pulling in, these folks own everything that they have. These folks ain't working for no company. They not working for nobody. They working for themselves. So when I'm driving back here in the driveway, I see some big dogs. I'm talking about some big, huge dogs. And I'm a money guy. I'm a money guy. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I'm business. Trust me. I'm ministry first and business second. So when I see these big old dogs, guess what I say to myself? I said, self, I said, it ain't cheap to feed them dogs right there. Them is some big dogs. And then when I'm riding, guess that's what I see. I see some four-wheelers. I see some dirt bikes. It was several of them. And then I paid attention. I said, they got several dirt bikes, four-wheelers and three-wheelers. And after that, I have to examine the yard. I said, and the yard is big enough. The yard is big enough for them to ride them things. But when I see them, I seen them in all sizes, which means they had some for the grown folks and they had some for the kids. I said, evidently, it's a lot of people out here who ride these. I said, this is a family. And then I see some sheds. Before I pulled up to this lady's business, get what I done did? I done made I done observed everything. These people stack their bread. They most definitely about their money. So when I pull up to the building, I call and let her know that I'm outside. She said, you can come on in, Joe. I opened up what it looked to be a shed that they probably done hired somebody to come out here and build. I walk into the shed. I see one person working, a man. I see this man in here, he boxing everything, boom, boom. He doing that, he running the machines, and the building, it was big, but it wasn't super big. They had all the machines they need to print them books in there. And so when I walked in, I was looking like, I seen how many books they needed to have shipped out. I seen how many orders. I'm paying attention to all of this. I looked at the paperwork. He prints stuff off. He signed the stuff. And I was like, where Miss Renee at? He was like, oh, he was like, you Joe? I was like, yeah. He was like, what you getting? You getting the Life Under the Sun? I was like, yeah. He was like, I got you. I'm going to pick the books up. I'm going to go and take them out to the car. He said, you could go around there. You know what I'm saying? Go around there, turn left. You can go see it. He said, you can pay around there. I said, bet that. So I go to the other part of the building. When I go to the other part of the building, I come to see that they don't just print books. They print clothes. They can make you a life size or whatever they call it. They do banners. They do everything you name. They do it. And I still only see one person. Then I see her. She in there on the computer. She taking care of everything. Pop, 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 pop. When I turn around, she turned around. I'm looking at her. She looking at me. We looking at each other. She had on the headset. Then when I seen, I say, hey, she was like, oh, hey, Joe, nice as ever. I'm talking about beautiful spirit. You know what I'm saying? So she break down everything, tell me how much it cost. She tell me, you know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. I paid, right? When I paid, I'm getting ready to leave. I said, Miss Renee, I said, if you don't mind me asking, I said, how did all of this come about? Because I was interested. As a black man, there is no one in my family. Nobody in my family that I grew up around that have their own business. And not only is it their own business, it's a family business. This business that they had started was built around family. It only people that was working in there was family. Her daughter, which I come to find out later, I think her daughter boyfriend, I might be wrong about that. Her husband, I can't remember, I don't think they had a son, but they keeping the money in one pot. So when I see this, it's mind-boggling to me. Not only that, it disturbed my spirit to a certain extent, but then it also motivated me and it inspired me, because as I'm looking, I'm like, man, these people really taking care of business in here. And then they land, everything that they got. These people, they joy, peace, and happiness is right here amongst each other. So when she started telling me, we walking back in the building, she telling me a little bit of the story, right? This is the meat of the story, what I wanted to get to. I'm like, how did this come about? She said, well, my husband used to work for a printing company. I said, okay. She said, after years of working there, she said he realized what they was charging people to print and press books. She said they was charging them folks lights out, which is true. Because before I found them, I called so many companies in the country. These folks want $9, $10, $11, $12 a book to print your book. So I'm like, yeah. Oh, trust me, I know they overcharging. She said at some point, she said, my husband started paying attention. Listen to what I'm going to tell you. Listen. She said, my husband started paying attention to the names of the machines that they were using. She said at one point, my husband come in and say, I'm really tired of working for this company. But he had a plan. He was going to work there long enough. He was stacking up, is what I'm guessing was going on. He looked at the names of the machines, and he looked up how much the machines cost. When he looked up how much the machines cost, he knew how much money he needed to get the same machine so he could do the same process. He knew how much it really cost, so he knew their profit margin was out of the roof. But as he done did his numbers, he knowing if I do that and we charge this amount, eventually, guess what? I don't know how long they've been doing business. But when I walked in there, they got enough machine to do everything that they doing. This man walked away from his job. He left his job. It's called A&R Printing. It's in White Bluff, Tennessee. One second. A&R Printing in White Bluff, Tennessee. So after this man leave his job, they invest their money and get the machine. These folks, listen, balling out of control, and that's where I'm at. I'm not finna work for you, slave for you. I'm overworked, underpaid. I'm breaking my back. I'm coming home tired. I'm coming home. Listen to me. I really don't want to deal with nobody. I'm irritated. I'm irritated, annoyed, and then listen. I don't have the energy that I deserve for myself. I don't have the joy I deserve for myself. I don't have the peace I deserve for myself. I don't even get to sleep my body and mind really need. You know why? Because when I lay down, I gotta get right back up and go back in here and work where I'm underpaid. That is mind blowing to me. And guess what? I'm gonna tell you why I understood that. Because before I went to prison, I watched my mama her entire life. Listen, and this ain't no shot at my mama. Love my mama to death. That's my baby. You know what I'm saying? We disagree a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to create boundaries. Because a lot of parents believe in listen, parental entitlement is a real thing. But listen to me. Check this out. I watched my mama, who the black community categorized as a strong black woman. I ain't saying that she ain't strong. My mama's a beast. But what we have categorized as a strong woman, because she getting up out of the bed, she tired, she breaking her back, and she's doing what she's got to do to take care of home and feed her children, because my daddy was doing 2 life sentences in prison. We need to change that, because not only she was strong in a sense, but she was doing what she didn't realize she had a choice. So what she was doing was forced. She wasn't doing it. She was forced to do that, because if she didn't do that, not only was we not going to be straight, she was going to be out. But what she didn't do was realize, hold on, let me put something together, not only for me, but for my kids and possibly for their kids after that. She didn't step out of it. She continued to say the same. People get in the cycle and say the same stuff. And when you saying the same thing over for years, maybe that's the Most High trying to tell you that if you can do something else if you choose to. You constantly talking about how you don't like your job, how you don't like your employees, how you live in check to check, how you don't like this, how you don't like that, but you constantly get up and you go. That's the same thing as a person in an abusive relationship. You're in an abusive relationship with your job. You in an abusive relationship with a woman or a man. You constantly know they talk crazy to you, constantly know they degrade you, constantly putting their hands on you. You constantly tell your friends and family, I'm tired of this, I'm tired of this, but you never get away. When you saying stuff, clearly, that is a clear-cut sign. You need to, listen, you need to move around. So look, check this out. I grew up around that. Still to this day, it ain't nobody in my family who has started something. We can't even come together. We can sit around, have a conversation. This is another thing I don't really like about, you know what I'm saying, when you come together and you sitting down, you talking about people. When you talking to people, we can sit down and all agree. We can sit down and say what we need to do, what we need to do. And guess what? Because of the fear, you still ain't gonna make the move. Do you know how many people I have told how to write books? You know how many people I've told what I've made from writing books? You know how many people I've told how much money I make off of social media? You know how many people I have sit down and pretty much coached over and over it, still get over and over, still get over it, still get. And guess what? All they want to do is talk. All they want to do is talk. The fear of, man, it stops them from moving forward every single time. Because guess what? You know what the psychology of the job is? The psychology behind the job is, I'm going to give you 401k. I'm going to give you what's up, Brittany? Beaumont. I'm going to give you your 401k. I'm going to give you health insurance. If you get sick, you can go to the doctor. I'm going to pay you either every week or every other week. And the psychology behind that, it creates a fear in you, just like a gang. See, a gang will bring you in. And when the gang bring you in, listen, when the gang bring you in, the gang, it look good on the outside. You see each other showing each other love. It look like they breaking bread with each other, but you ain't got to get into the inner circle and get to see how many people backstabbing people, getting over on people, talking about people. You ain't got to see that your supervisor will get you fired if he feel like he in threat of if you in the threat of his position. Just like a gang, they bring you in the gang, and before you realize it's somebody who got a position, they realize you intelligent, they realize you smart, they realize you got some sense, and before they let you come in and take that position, they gonna cut you off and they gonna you out of here. And see, that's the same thing like with a job. A job will bring you in and they gonna show you all these nice little shiny things that they gonna give you. And when you get in there, you get to working, and 5-10 years done went by your life, and you thinking it's okay because them folks done gave you some PTO. You think it's okay because you done took a couple of days off and you done took your family on the trip. But when you took your family on the trip, when you was on that flight back, you already knew you had to go in here and possibly work and do a little bit of overtime so you can catch back up. They ain't gonna never get you to the place of where you can flap your own wings. Let me tell you something. It's just like a game. And then I'm gonna tell you where they plant the fear in you. They plant the fear in you. This is where the fear come in. The fear of the Most High sending you a vessel, and he try to tell you, hey, I'm telling you, you could do this, you could do that, you could do this, you could do this side hustle, you could do that side hustle, and get what? In your mind, you be like, yeah, I can't do that. And then they get to telling you how much money you can make. You get to thinking about the money and this and that, and then before you know it, guess what happened? You say, well, what about, I ain't gonna have insurance doing that as an entrepreneur. Then you say, well, I ain't gonna have no 401k. If I do that, I ain't gonna. And then you gonna say, well, what if it don't work out? And then by the time you say that to yourself, what if it don't work out? Guess what you done did? You realize, now I'd rather stay on my job. I'd rather stay in my job where I'm gonna get paid every week or every other week because I can't afford. Listen what I'm saying. You gonna say to yourself, I can't afford to a couple of days go by and it don't go the way that I expected it to go. Listen to me when I tell you about this right here. I did 10 years in prison for those who's not aware. Listen, I did 10 years in prison. I had 1 million of these conversations when I called home. Majority of the time when I called home, I always hear people complain about their lifestyle, their job, this and that, what they can't do, this and that. And guess what? It was already scaring me. I was already scared half to death about coming home and worried about how I was going to survive. Because I had people that was asking me, listen, I had people who was asking me for money while I was sitting in a prison. I'm sitting $200-300 on Cash App while I'm sitting in a prison cell because your lights is about to get turned off. And you out here with all this opportunity. And get what? I said, well, I'm going to have to find out what I'm going to do when I get out there. So before I came home, I wrote my first 3 books. I wrote my first 3 books before I came home because I already realized I need to start plotting and planning what it is I'm going to do because there's no way I'm going to get out there and these folks going to convince me and try to tell me, well, be a good citizen. You got a second chance. Come on out here, get you a job, go to work, save you some money, get your own place, get you a car. But then these the same people, they just like the dope boys back in the day. Because the dope boys, what they do is they make it look good. They don't tell you can go to jail, you can get robbed, you can get shot. They don't tell you all that. You tell me, come home, get a job, not telling me you hate your job, you don't make enough on your job, and then you tell me to add another bill on to myself. Go get you a car. You ain't telling me how much your car note is that you barely paying it. Then you ain't telling me how much your insurance is, and half the time your gas light is on. You ain't telling me all of that because this job you telling me to go get, you can't, it ain't allowing you to afford the lifestyle. Then you tell me, then you, listen, then you don't tell me that you paying for your own food. You ain't telling me none of that. You ain't telling me none of that. So when I look in your refrigerator, and look in there and it's kind of empty, and then I hear you on your phone, or I see you on Facebook, you asking who got the food stamps. Yeah. Tell everybody that when you trying to convince everybody how okay it is to go get a job. Put all of them details in there. Don't get up like half of these people at the church who get up giving their testimony, giving glory to the Most High, telling this and telling that, and the whole time they know behind the scenes they done pull some strings. Now, get up here and tell them the truth. You talking about how you was depressed and this and that and did this and that and then tell them folks the most, tell them the God honest truth about what really happened. Listen, that's what's wrong with people. They don't want to be, they go get a, it's 5 years later. Hold on, before I get to that part. The gal that I was dealing with when I first came home, right? She worked at Sonic. If you work, it don't bother me where you work at. Just don't try to act like your job ain't taking advantage of you though when I point that out to you. And not only that, as a man, I'm always looking for different ways for us to get some bread. You know what I'm saying? Because if I'm dealing with somebody, we're a team. So if I'm trying to put you up on game, don't try to make it like, you know what I'm saying, I'm hating or this is that. Listen to me. This is what you make. This is what you making on your tips. Is you put that to the side. I did 10 years. So trust me, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking with some sense. You listen. You can put that to the side versus going out, versus buying clothes, versus doing this, versus doing that. We can meal prep. Listen to me. I'm a calculated dude, man. We can meal prep. Listen to me. I know what it. Look at how much money we spending through in a month. On gas, because we're going out to eat. On gas, because we're going to do places. Look at how much money we spending on food, because every time we going, listen, we can meal prep, and all of that money that we spending in a week, which is it's a couple of hundred, but you do a couple of hundred, you do that in 90 days, we save all of that. People don't think that little extra money really count. Listen, pay attention to how much, if you smoke cigarettes, pay attention to how much money you smoke on cigarettes in 90 days. If you smoke weed, pay attention to how much money you spend smoking that ganja in 90 days. If you pay attention to how much money, whatever you spending on your vices that you think is extra money, pay attention to how much of that you spending. And then pay attention to how much you can keep in your pocket if you cut that off. Over the course of 90 days, that if you studying something that you could start, if you studying something that you could do, and you start to save that money, you can get to the point of you can go and invest in that. I'd rather invest and put my money on something I'm gonna see in return versus a year later down the line, I'm looking at my W-2 and how much money I made, and I'm sitting in the house broke, and I'm asking myself, where did my money go? How many people done said to themselves, well, where's all this money going? You know how many phone calls I done took from people who tell me about their finances, where they are financially, and then this be my question. How much money you make a week? And these folks tell me, well, I probably make about $1,000 a week. I say, okay, you making $1,000 a week, which means you making $4,000 a month, right? Yeah. Well, how much is your rent or your mortgage? Well, I'm paying like $1,000, $1,100. I said, okay. That mean, listen, okay, that means we got $3,000 left if you paying $1,000. That means we got $3,000 left. Okay, how much is it costing you to drive back and forth to work? Well, I probably put $100 in my tank. I could get back and forth to work for quite some time. That was so now we down to $2,900. How much you think you spending on groceries? Well, I'm spending this on groceries and this and that. And by the time we finish having a conversation about how much money they make and where all their money going, and then I realize, well, it should be about $800-900 left every month. You know what I'm saying? And that's still giving you a little spending range. That should be about $800-900 left. But you in the hole. You done overdraft your cards. You owe people money. Where is it going? And then this what it be. I don't know. Then they ask me, where is it going? How I'm supposed to know? I ain't the one who's spending it. You the one who's spending it. Where's the money going at? And then get what happened. We realize how much you go out to eat. We realize that this shoe fanatic you are is digging in your pockets. Listen to me. We realize that you live beyond your means, and you never sit back and say, you know what? I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna invest in the t-shirt business. I'm gonna invest in this. Never. You don't never, ever do that. You just blow the money. So look, check this out. So when I'm dealing with this gal, right? I'm dealing with this gal, and I'll never forget what she told me. So when I came home, I went and got a little job. You know what I'm saying? And get what I said? I ain't even gonna be here 3 weeks. That's what I'm telling people on the job. I'm telling everybody on the job, I ain't gonna be here no about 21 days. 21 days? Well, what you gonna do? Then you just got out of prison. Yeah, I'm gonna trust the Most High. I trust God too, but yeah, that let me know right there you don't even trust him. As soon as you put that but on there and let me know, you know what I'm saying, anything you said before that, you really don't believe. But you trying to convince me like a lot of these church folks that you got faith. That was up, but stand on that. Yeah, I trust the Most High too, but I got to have my job. I know you do. I'm going to be here for 21 days. They said I'm going to make $800 a week. You listen, that's going to be 24. I'm going to take that 24. I'm going to go and buy me I'm going to probably have at least 1,600 of it because I'm going to do the little stuff that I need to do. I ain't finna buy no clothes, none of that. I can show you all my pictures. I wore the same clothes for 365 days straight. I had like 6 or 7 outfits I wore for 365 days. Listen to me. I'm emotionally even thinking about it because I can prove it. 365 days, I had 6 or 7 outfits that I recycled and wore. over and over. I had 2 pairs of shoes I wore for 365 days because I understood if I don't make this sacrifice and compromise, I'm going to be living just like the rest of these people. I'm going to be doing the same thing the rest of these people. I said, why they going to be looking at me like I might be broke, busted, and disgusted. The whole time I'm going to be stacking and saving because I got a plan. So when I tell this girl, I said, man, look, I'm finna order 400 books. This is what I'm finna do, this, and that. I done already did my numbers. If I order 400 books and I sell them at $25 a pop, somebody do the math. And so if I don't do it at 25, I said I'd do it at 20. So I did the math on that. And then this is what a lot of people don't do when it comes to business. People don't understand. You don't calculate no profit until you make up for your expenses. I said, okay, it's going to cost me this much to get the books. It'll cost me this much to ship them. It's going to cost this much for packaging. So then I remove how much that was. And then I look at my profit margin versus what I'd make on a job versus what I'll make off the book. And guess what that meant? I'm going to make more if I bet on me. So at that point, I'm going to bet on me. And guess what that girl told me? She acted like she didn't want to take me to go get the book, so I called my sister. When I called my sister, she heard me in the other room calling my sister. Guess what she did? I told you I was going to take you. I told you what time I needed to be there, and you didn't take me. So I said, that was up. I said, you ain't got to worry about it. My sister going to take me. So my sister took me. When I get back, I had the boxes of the books. Guess what else she didn't help do? She didn't help me carry the books in the house. She watched me bring all of them books in the house and didn't even help me carry them. Hold on. She watched me bring all of them boxes of books in the house and didn't even help me carry them. Let me tell you something about that enemy. Let me tell you something about that enemy. That enemy will see when you trying to get where you trying to go. And then what the enemy will do, he'll try to make you feel some type of way by saying, ain't nobody supporting me. How many people done tapped out when they said, man, they ain't supporting me. Family ain't supporting me. Friends ain't supporting me. I don't care nothing about none of them folks supporting me. Because guess who gonna support me? Me. I'm supporting me. So when she did that, I'm like, I got plenty of boxes. I got 400 and something books. I bring the books in the house. I start busting the books open. I start signing the books. When I'm signing the books, she ain't even have enough audacity to sit down and help me open the boxes up. So I just said, you know what, you ain't got to worry about it. I'll open up every individual box and I'm going to sign every one of these books. I'm sitting here watching the woman I done came home to not even want to see. She don't believe. But see, she had other plans. So I sit here and sign all the books, right? I signed all the books. I went to set up a tent. Listen to me, because y'all think it's a game. I'm going to show it to you. I went to set up and got a tent from somebody. I got the tent. When I got the tent, this is what I was doing first. I don't know if you can see it. Hold on. That's my dad. He going to have to call back today. I set up a tent and I was going to the malls. This is my first mall stand right here. As you can see, it wasn't all that, but I had a plan. Listen, hold on, I'm gonna get back to the message, but I got to let y'all see this today, because I'm feeling good today. Semi anyway. Hold on, because I want y'all to understand this. Hold on, let me find it. So as I'm signing these books and I'm doing all of it, I go down here to this stand. I set up the stand. I sell 35 books. Listen to me. Pay attention. I sell 35 books in my hometown. 35. I'm gonna tell you why that's a major problem. 35 books in my hometown out of 400 books. It's way more than 400 people who know me. Way more than 400 people who know my story, know I went to prison, know I came home and was a different man. 35 people come down there. And see, that's another problem. Because then the enemy try to get in your head and try to make you believe, ain't nobody gonna support you. You ain't gonna be able to do that. You ain't gonna be able to do this and that. Yeah, okay. Get what? Oh, that ain't gonna stop me neither. Get what I did? I posted them pictures. I posted the 35 pictures that I took down there of other people who came down there and supported me. And get what I did? I kept going. Listen to me. I still hit the mall. Look, here going. Pay attention to what I'm finna show you. He gonna have, you see that shirt? Watch this. I traveled in this shirt to 3 different states. This shirt too, this brown one. Brown. 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 Now watch this. This is one mall. Hold on. Because y'all think it's a game out here. I'm gonna show you today. Pay attention to this shirt. Listen, the black, look at that. Brown again. This a whole nother week right here. This a different week. That's 3 or 4 of the outfits. Watch this. This almost a year later what I'm finna show you. Hold on. This a year later, I'm in Atlanta. It's gonna be the same shirts. Same shirt. Same shirt. Same one of the shirts. Same shirt. Same shoes. Same shirt. I'm in Atlanta. Same shirts. That was the second pair of shoes. I wore the same outfit for 365 days straight. I watched 35 people come out from my hometown and buy a book from me. The girl I'm staying with at the time wouldn't take me to get the books, wouldn't help me carry the books in the house, wouldn't even help me open up the boxes. When I came back, listen to me, when I came back to the house after selling 35 books in my hometown, she asked me how many books you sell. And I was selling them for 20 at the time. So it's a little bit, 35 times, you do 35 times 20, that was $600, $700. So I do $700, right? This is what she not understanding. I do $700 in 2-3 hours, which is what people don't make on their job. Which meaning, even though I was still putting my expenses back in my pocket, I wasn't calculating no profit. She didn't understand the math though. She looking at it, oh, you only made $700. Listen to me. If I do that 7 days a week, you do the math on that. Don't try to calculate, oh, that's just one day. You do 7 times 7 and tell me what that is versus what you make a week. And then, listen, so when I come in, this is what she say. I'll never forget it. She said, you ain't gonna be able to keep selling them books like that. I said, huh? She said, you ain't gonna, that was my first book. This 5 years ago we talking about. She said, you ain't gonna be able to keep selling them books. I said, what make you think that? She said, cause you ain't. I knew what she was saying though. What she was saying was, she thought I was only looking at Springfield. Some people can't see your vision. Matter of fact, they can't see it all. They blind. You thinking I'm just looking at, oh, I'm gonna sell some books in Springfield, I'm gonna keep selling them. That's different from somebody who do hair or cut hair, because hair grow back. You can keep cutting hair. That's different. You can work for Central Air. People mess up. You can do that. That's different than cutting grass, because you can recycle cutting grass. They'll come back and they'll ask you again for your service. I understood off the top. It's what makes you think I'm thinking I'm gonna sell some books in Springfield. Couple of days or weeks later, they gonna want to come and buy the same book. No, I wasn't even thinking like that. I'm thinking to myself, I'm gonna start in Springfield, get up, and I'm gonna sell books to the entire world. Because when I wrote the book, I was already selling them before I came home. In prison, even with that process. When I called home and told my mama I wrote a book, she laughed. She thought it was funny. She didn't know no better though. Most people don't know better. When you start talking about your vision and you start talking about what it is that the Most High trying to do in you. And they only laugh because it's projection. She ain't know no better. She laughing because she can't see for herself that that's possible. It don't matter who it was. I ain't just saying it because of my mama. It wouldn't matter who it is. If it was a friend, if it was a homeboy, if it was a homegirl, if it was a cousin, if it was auntie, whoever, if they said something negative, it's because it's projection. You can't see yourself doing it, so you most definitely can't see somebody else doing it. But when I published the books and I sent them to her and she sold them in the first day and she told me how much money I made, I sit in the cell on that day and said to myself, if I sold that many books in here, I think it was 44 copies. I said, if I sold that in here, by the time I get home, I'll sell 1 million. That's what I said to myself. So look, check this out. So after I sold the books and I told the girl that, and then she said, you ain't gonna be able to keep doing that. I understood right then and there how simple-minded people can be. This is somebody, I ain't knocking it where you work at, but I'm trying to make a point. This is somebody who working in Sonics who was living check to check at the time. And you trying to speak down on somebody who trying to figure out how to get out of this situation, not only you, but for everybody. I'm trying to figure out how to create a better situation for us, and clearly it was already saying if you push this, had I had somebody that can get together and we can think and we can get on the same page, get on one accord, as the word say, ain't no telling what kind of plan we could have came up with to do with the books. Because I was learning. I did 10 years in prison. I don't know nothing about marketing. I ain't know nothing about promotion. I ain't know nothing about sales. I ain't know nothing about sales pitch. I ain't know nothing about none of that. I'm trying to figure it out. But if we get on the same page and we start figuring this thing out together, we can speed up the process. So look, check this out. I end up leaving that girl. We 5 years later in. We over 10,000 sold. Listen. We over 10,000 sold. That ain't including my clothes. That ain't including what I make on social media. That ain't including the blessings that people done gave me. That ain't including how many speaking engagements I done been to. That ain't including, ain't no telling how many things that I can say. But I said all that to say this to the person who told me, go get a job. I am the job. The job is in me. The job is in me. You think I'm gonna go work for a company? All the chips is on me. And guess what? I'm fine. I'm great. I ain't a multi-millionaire or nothing like that. But I can guarantee you, I ain't living check to check. I ain't gotta worry about, let me get up, I got to go get this overtime. I ain't got to get up and say, let me go get up and I ain't got to worry about my daughter calling me and saying, I can't afford to do that right now. I did it in the beginning. Listen. I did it in the beginning. It was a few times. Listen, I don't know if any father can deal with this. It was a few times when I came home, I was so shameful, but I understood the sacrifice and I didn't think my child would understand it. I understood that I was doing certain things so I could get so I could get where I was trying to get so I could do what I'm able to do now. It was certain times when she would call and I wouldn't answer the phone. I'd wait a couple of hours because I was worried about what she was finna ask me for. And then it was one day I explained, I said, listen, man, I said, it ain't that I don't want to do it for you. I want to, if I could, listen to me, I'd put a ladder on the moon and walk up there if you wanted a piece of it to chip it off and bring it back down here to you and give it to you. If I could. I said, well, what I'm doing though, I can't, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to build, I'm trying to get. And guess what my child said? She said, I already know, Daddy. I understand. That was another lesson I learned. You ain't even got to avoid that call. Only thing you got to do is explain it to her. Because when the Most High working in your favor, listen to her, I'm going to tell you something. He going to touch everybody's heart. So at this point now, when she called, she already know. What up, baby? What you got going? I got you. You ain't even going. I got you. Yeah, give me, yeah. Cash App, Vimo, PayPal. How you want? Zelle? I got you. Give me just that. You know what I'm saying? But that all come because it say, your gift will make room for you and bring you before great men. Listen to me. When they talk about the window, I watched the windows of heaven open up for me. You know why? He said because you had to have a mustard seed of faith. You got to have a mustard seed of faith. He didn't say that I had to have all of this gigantic faith. Only thing I had to do was believe just a little bit. Just believe a little bit. Even the times that I fell off, it was time. Listen, let me explain this to you. Because I don't want to be one of them people that try to make you feel like, you know what I'm saying, they just going to, you know what I'm saying, I ain't going to do that. It was time. Listen to me. It was times when I was like, man, this is moving too slow. It ain't working. And I jumped out, you know what I'm saying, started hustling one time. And then I had to pray my way out of hustling. Get right back to the books. I started back hustling again. Said, you know what? It's all or nothing this time. And last time when I jumped in, let me tell you something about the Most High. When I prayed and asked him to remove me and get me back out of the hustle life, I was grateful that he put me in because when I was allowed to get put in, I ain't say he put me in again. I was allowed to go and explore that again, and I was still protected and I was still covered. But it was only allowed because I was able to touch it and see. Now that ain't what you want. Your mindset ain't the same. Your heart ain't the same. your levels of paranoia are gonna be way different. Your convictions is different. I'll let you do that just so, you know what I'm saying, I can get you to the point of where you gonna step both foot in and you gonna do what it is that you need to do. So I was grateful for that when I went back and you know what I'm saying, and that went on. So then look, check this out. So after that happened, I ended up writing, because I had my first 3. Then I ended up writing my other 2. I ended up writing my other 2. Life ain't been the same since. Had I went and got a job, did all of that stuff, I wouldn't be where I am today. Had I listened to somebody else no, I'm gonna bet it all on me. And it's a lot of people who sitting on this live right now know they got it in them, but their job done scared you because that's where you comfortable at, and you fearful if you walk away, it ain't gonna work out. I went through that, and I can say wholeheartedly, without trying to get over you, convince you. Listen, I can say wholeheartedly, when I trusted, listen to me. I ain't saying I ain't made mistakes. Financial literacy is a part of ministry as well. People don't know how to be good stewards of their money. Do you know how, I bet it's several people on here, the Most High done bless you financially over and over. And because of your financial literacy level, you ended up blowing the blessing. It was an opportunity to put you ahead. You end up squandering it because it wasn't just you, it was people who raised you as well. I grew up around it. I saw it before I came home. I seen it when I came home. And when I came home, I saw majority, matter of fact, I seen 99.5% of everybody who was in whatever position they was before I went to prison. They was in the exact same position when I came out of prison. Matter of fact, they was looking worse. You know why they was looking worse? You know why they say, well, prison preserved you, boy, you look good. No, prison probably did preserve me. But at the same time, you've been out here being mistreated and misused at your job in life. Because the pressures of life, you ain't able to get where you need to be, it's breaking you down. I'm still home. It's 5 years later. And people still say the same thing. You looking good. You know why? Because I have not been forced by the pressures of life, and it has not been heavy labor on my body, on my skin, on my heart, on my mind. You know why? Because I trusted in the Most High and to do what it is that I knew that was in me. It ain't had nothing to do with what's wrong with you? Why you looking like that? Because the pressures of life. Listen to me. Stress, anxiety, depression, it'll affect your physical. Not only will it affect your mental, it's gonna affect your physical features. Your body, you tired, back hurting, stress, all of that stuff it contributes to all of that. But listen to me. Over here in that land with milk and honey, it's a different ball game. Only thing I'm trying to do right now is stretch my hamstring. Because that's the only thing that be bothering me. You know what I'm saying? Only thing I'm trying to do is get this hamstring stretched out. Because every now, you know what I'm saying, it'll cramp up. Other than that, I trust the Most High with my health and everything. I ain't saying that I ain't going to ever need health insurance. But right now, what I'm going through, trusting the process, I'm telling the Most High, I'm going to trust you with my body. I'm going to trust you with my health. I'm going to trust you with my mind. If anything go wrong, I'll lay my hand on it. I'll lay my hand where it need to be laid at. And I'm going to pray that thing up off of me. Now, and a lot of people are like, that's crazy. That's crazy. What worked for me might not work for you. You know what I'm saying? What worked for me might not work for you. But I know this for sure. One thing for sure, two things for certain. I done committed it to the Most High. And until he get me to the place of where he know you going to be able to afford whatever it is that you need to afford. You're going to get whatever health insurance you're going to need. You're going to get whatever transportation and keep doing what you're doing until I get you there. And guess what I done? Just that. Get what? Listen. I can tell you story after story after story. I promise you. We 10,000 sales in. That's just books. You know what I'm saying? I make money on all my social media except TikTok. And then not only that, I've been able to The rapport I have with my people, you know what I'm saying, is the biggest thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I've gained good relationships and friendships, you know what I'm saying, based on what the Most High has allowed me to do. You know what I'm saying? So it's been a blessing. And all of this is about, if he done told you to leave that job, why you still there? If you scared, say you scared. You can say that to him. Tell him you scared. Tell him you scared. Gideon did it. Go to Judges chapter 6. Listen to me. Watch this. See, that's another thing people don't understand. See, I got that word. I got too many references. I got too many references to go look at and too many examples to go look at. You know what I'm saying? Who did it before me? That's the same thing with vessels now. He used vessels now because he try to heed and give you information so that you can do it different or you can get ahead of it. And that's the same thing. Listen. Yeah, he'll most definitely force you. So look, you go to Judges chapter 6 when he called on Gideon. Gideon was scared. Gideon said, I'm too small. He said, it ain't too many. He said, I'm the Most High. I got you. Gideon, over time, the Most High had to show him over and over, you know what I'm saying, that he was good. He ended up doing what the Most High told him to do. And he done it. Do it scared if you got to. Do it scared. But do it. That's the problem. Do it. Do it. Do it. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I did. That's what I did. And I love my life, man. I love my life. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I love my life. You know what I'm saying? I sleep peaceful. I sleep peacefully. You know what I'm saying? I ain't and it ain't. Listen, I'm gonna end it with saying this. It's not all about the monetary. You know what I'm saying? It ain't about the monetary, because when you talk about the fruit, it ain't about the monetary. Because if you pay attention to me, like, I ain't big on material. I'm not a materialistic type of guy. It's not all about the monetary. You never hear throughout the scripture, you know what I'm saying? Of course, they were wealthy, but you don't hear Yeshua, who we know as Jesus Christ, talk about the monetary part of ministry a lot. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear him talk about the materialistic things that you are able to buy when that happens. It's about the fruits of the Spirit. The love, the joy, the peace, the kindness, the gentleness, the self-control. It's about these things. If you pay attention to King, go to King Solomon and ask King Solomon what it was that he prayed for in order to be able to lead his people. He asked for wisdom. He asked for knowledge in order to be able to instruct. He said, and then everything else was added on to him. See, it's about me trusting what's in me, watching it manifest, and that's the fruits of the Spirit that's within me, and allows me to have the energy that I have the mindset that I have the love that I have. It also allows that self-control. That self-control can go under the umbrella of good stewardship. That self-control also allows me to be able to know how to manage my money and do what I need to do with my money. You know what I'm saying? That gentleness, that humility, regardless of how many followers or how many likes or how many views or how much money I make, I'm able to look back in my past because of the fruits of the Spirit, and I'm able to come down and be humble. Humility is a major thing within your walk, and when you dealing, when you doing, when you going where you going. I'm still able to have the love for people and understand that people are not where I am, and people may not understand where I'm understand the word the way that I understand. But I was once at that place where I wanted somebody to understand, and I couldn't understand where they were, and I couldn't. But I understand in order having that same level to extend that grace and mercy that was extended to me. You know what I'm saying? It's the love, the joy, the peace, the kindness. You know what I'm saying? Do you know how hard it is to continue to be kind when so many people backstabbed you, dogged you out, didn't listen to me? It's the fruits of the Spirit that come with all of that allow you to get where you're going. You know what I'm saying? My strength, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing this for 2 years. If you pay attention, when I get on my live, I still feel the same joy that I have for the Most High when I first came home. I may not study as much as I used to. I may not read as much as I used to. But one thing for sure too, I never forget. I don't forget. You know what I'm saying? I don't forget what he done, how he done it. And I have not, and it's hard for me. It's impossible for me not to see the manifestation. So with that alone, I just rely on the word when he say he'll bring it to remembrance. He'll bring it to remembrance when I need it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still watching my life. I'm watching myself grow, evolve. I'm watching it constantly. And then this is the most beautiful part of it. He said, go and make disciples of all nations. when you go to the Great Commission. He said, you will know a tree. I'm going to give you these two and then I'm finna roll. He said, you will know a tree by its fruit. I've watched the Most High produce. Well, I pay attention to the comment section. If I was able to plant or water something that he done already laid, I'm doing what he called me to do. And then when he said, go and make disciples, when you planting and watering, that's what you doing. Because if somebody heard the word come from you, from the Most High, that he using you as a vessel, and you planting and watering, you doing what he charged you to do. And so with that being said, regardless of people, well, you said this and you said and you and this and that, I get on here and cut up to show you how free I am. It said, where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. Don't get on here and blame me for whatever it is that you're dealing with and your convictions and this and that. And that's a whole nother conversation. But when I watch over time, 5 years, I could tell you several people. I only mentioned one in this story. I could tell you several people who was trying to basically convince me and sabotage what it was I saw and what I know that was laid on my heart before I walked up out of that prison. And we 5 years in, and the enemy still trying to use people and convince people. They try to find any little thing to get an aha moment. Oh, Joe T did this or Joe T did that. They will never say the times that they was encouraged, the time that they was edified, the times that they learned something, the time that they heard some wisdom, the time they wait for one situation and they try to use that to discredit everything you've done before. But we 5 years in now. And if you go to the book of Acts, now for the roll. If you go to the book of Acts, it was a man that he had been called by the Most High. They locked these men up. When they locked them men up, guess what he told them? And you need to turn them folks loose, man. Them folks is working for the king. And whatever it is that they doing, it's going to have to go forth. He said, you turn them loose. He said because of if what they doing ain't of the Most High, he said eventually it'll crash and fall to nothing. They turn them folks loose, and we here with the gospel to this day. They try to discredit me and say this and say that. We 5 years in. We 5 years in. It's been a blessing, man. Hey, y'all hold it out. Y'all be blessed. If you didn't catch the whole live, I'm gonna put it on my YouTube. If you ain't got the book, go to my website, jtb3.org. If you got anything out of that, cash out me $1. Cash out me $1. Okay, so boom. One. If you ain't already following me on here too, hit the follow button. Hit the follow button if you ain't already following me. Y'all enjoy your day. Y'all have a blessed one. If you ain't on my YouTube, go subscribe to my YouTube. What's up, class, man? Who is that right there? Is that Donovan? I think it's Donovan. I don't know. But yeah. My cash app is OKSOBOOM1. It's all one word. OKSOBOOM with a 1 behind it. Y'all be blessed. Y'all hold it down. Donovan, what's up, my guy? I pray all is well, man. You know what I'm saying? I know time heals everything, man. So y'all be blessed. The name of my publisher, go to A&R. It's A&R Printing and Publishing. Go to Google, type in A&R Printing and Publishing, and you will see it. It's in White Bluff, Tennessee. You can message me on Instagram or Snapchat, and I got you. Go message me on Instagram, BAKERII. My YouTube is Joe Baker. My YouTube is Joe Baker. Go to my YouTube, Joe Baker. JOEBAKER. For sure.